Hi, I'm Sophie, and welcome to my world. You know, I've had a lot of requests for a toiletry traveling kit. And you know, as I was coming up with the idea and figuring out how to make it, I realized that this would be the perfect thing to hang in your locker to keep all your stuff. And what's great about it is that it's made with Ziploc bags, so nothing will fall out. And the other thing that's great about it is you can fold it up into three like this and put it into your backpack or your travel case or your suitcase. Now let me show you the one that I've made over here. This is a little bit larger and it has a tongue closure. So you can actually carry it around like a little bag. And it's got this really cute double tongue closure, and then when you open it up, all your stuff is right there where you need it. And it's got a handy dandy over the handle hanger. So you could put this over a doorknob or you could put it over, a hook, and you just hang your stuff up. And like I said, I thought this might be perfect for your locker. And some people have asked, can you make like a nail polish kit? Can you make, a makeup kit? Well, this would work for that as well. So let me show you what we're going to do. For this, we are going to be using Ziploc bags. Now, I've been using the gallon size just because then I can cut them down to whatever size I need. So you want a gallon size and you want to have 3 Ziploc bags. I've made myself 3 straps ahead of time, and that's just going to save me a little bit of time when we're making the project. So I've made 3 straps, and these are each 10 inches long. And then I've got my X-Acto knife. I've got my Sharpie pen and my dry erase marker. I've got my scissors. I got my ruler, which I always need, and my tape, of course. So first thing I'm going to do is show you how to cut the bag. And remember, if you're going to be using your X-Acto knife, make sure you have a good solid cutting work surface that you can use. So for this, what we want to first do is remove the side, because we're not going to actually create it on the bag itself. We're going to just be using the Ziploc bar. So I'm going to just take my scissors and cut right down along the side like that. And then I'm going to be making my bag 7 inches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 inches by 7 inches. And the reason I'm going to be doing that is because I've decided that the bag I'm going to make is actually 8 inches wide. And I'm going to give myself a little bit of room on the sides. So I'm going to come in 1/2 inch on either side. So I'm making my bag 7 inches by 7 inches. And then I'll make my fabric. Just a second, I'll tell you about how we're going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to cut this 7 inches by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this piece I'm going to save. I can make into a small little change purse or something like that with this extra piece. So I'm just going to put this aside for later on. Now, I'm going to pull this apart. And do you see how there's just like a little bit of white here? I don't really need this backer piece anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to trim my back piece, and I'm going to trim it so it's about a finger width down, just a fingernail width down. This is going to get attached to the back of my fabric, and so I only need a little edge there. Can you see that edge? That's about 1/2 inch. Now, I have left my pieces together purposefully, and the reason I did that is because I want to make sure that I don't flip-flop them when it comes time to putting them on the fabric. So I'm keeping them together, but you'll notice that because they don't have any edges on the sides anymore, they are prone to slipping apart. Okay, so just be wary of that and make sure that you keep them together until you need them. Okay, now my fabric. I'm going to make my fabric, and I'm going to make it 8 inches wide, and I'm going to make it 24 inches long. The reason I'm doing that is because I've got 3 of these pockets, and each one of these pockets is 7 inches long. So I'm giving myself a little bit of extra, but 3 times 7 is 21, and then I've given myself a little bit of wiggle room. So I'm going to make mine 8 inches by 24 inches. You can make your size whatever you want. It's up to you, but I've decided to make mine that size. And so I've already made my fabric here. And if you wanted to, you could make yours on tarp. If you want to, you could make this on tarp, but for these purposes, I've actually made mine all on duct tape. Okay, what I'm going to do first and foremost is take my first pocket here. And I'm going to be using an accent color to attach it. And what I'm going to do is slide these apart. Now what I want to do is make sure that I keep them facing in the right direction. It's very easy to accidentally flip this over. And then when you're trying to put it back together, you're like, wait, why won't it go back together? And it's because you're trying to get to the plastic. And it's the railroad tracks, as I call them, are locked underneath. So make sure that your railroad tracks are always facing up. Alrighty. I'm going to take a piece of tape. I'm going to lay it right along the edge here. I don't want to cover up my railroad track. I just want to come as close to that edge as I possibly can without going onto the railroad track. So see, I've come as close as I can without going over the edge. And now what I do is I line this edge up with the end of my edge up here, and I've inset about 1/2 inch on either side, you can see there. I'm just going to flip this over and secure it into place. Now I'm just going to take my scissors and snip off this extra. And now I want to, now you could use the color, you know, the embellishment color if you want to, but I find that that makes your eye a little crazy when you're looking through your pocket. So what I'm going to do is match my color here. And I've got my orange, so I'm just going to match my orange color here. And again, what I'm going to be doing is going right up to the end of that railroad. So right underneath there. This is going to lock my Ziploc bag to my duct tape fabric. And there you have it. Okay, now I'm going to prep my other piece. Now remember, you want to make sure you cut your railroad track, and you feel it, you can feel it. What I want to do is flip it over so that my railroad track is facing up. Take my piece of accent tape, fold it over the top, and once again, you want to do that whole thing where you're lining it up and getting as close as you can, but not covering it. It's really, really important that you don't cover that, because if you cover it, then you won't be able to make the closure. Okay, so I've got it lined up right along the edge there, flipping it over, and I'm going to fold it over this whole edge. There you go. And now I'm just going to snip this extra bit with my scissors. Snip there, snip there. Now, the next part, this next little thing, takes a little teeny bit of patience, because what you have to do is line up your edges here. And you need to get your Ziploc lined up again so that it'll slide together. And you can hear it. Can you hear it? That was it clicking into place. You should hear it click. And you can test it by picking it up. It should click into place. You'll know if it's not. Okay, now, see this bottom here? This is down at 7 inches. I need to secure this into place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my accent tape, and I'm going to do it half on, half off at the bottom of my plastic bag here so that I secure it tightly into place. And just fold those edges over. Okay, that's my first pocket in place. Now I'm ready for my second pocket. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did. And what I want to do is just teach you how to do the placement. Now, see how I've got a lot of extra here? I don't want too much extra. I really only want about a pinky, because otherwise I'm going to end up and I won't have a very secure seal. And I want to make sure I have a good secure seal. Okay. So I get this in place, and this is where my bag ends. Remember, about half on, half off. So I'm going to place this right under there. And line it up. You can do it off of the side here if you want to, like that. Okay, and it's going to be right on top, basically, of the other one. So you can use that as your template. And that way you know you're pretty well set and exactly where you need to be. Okay, then I would come back with my orange tape, just so your eyes don't go wonkadoo, and seal it. All right, you're going to continue doing this. Create the top piece, secure it on, secure that bottom of your plastic, then secure your third. You're going to do that. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I'm going to jump ahead though because it does take some time to do that. Here I've got mine all finished up. 1 pocket, 2 pockets, 3 pockets, sealed on the bottom. See, this is that extra I was telling you about. This is where you can cut it wherever you want to. I'm going to leave it for now. You understand? Because you can always change your mind that you want. Maybe you wanted to add an extra little pocket. It's okay, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to just be sticking with my 3. Okay, all I need to do now is seal my sides. So to seal my sides, I'm going to take some tape, and I'm just going to lay it half on, half off. I've got my tape right up here to the edge, half on, half off, and fold it over onto the back and seal it. And I'm going to continue doing this all the way down. Now, you'll notice I'm using shorter pieces here. And the reason that I'm using shorter pieces here as opposed to nice long strip is just to make sure that I can line it up and make sure that it's smooth, even, and lined up correctly. Because it's very easy to get off when you have long pieces of tape that you're dealing with. And you're talking about 24, 26 inches of tape, and can sometimes get messed up on itself. Now, one of the things that I should really make sure that I show you, though, is that you are coming back and you're over top of that pocket. I'll show you on the other side, because that is the most important thing. With a Ziploc bag, you need to make sure that those edges are sealed. It's really super important that you do that. Okay, so here's the edge of my pocket. I am overlapping a good, that's at least 1/4 of an inch. And I'm sealing that edge. That's really super important. And then I'm folding it over. And we'll do it again. This one I can get about that long there. And seal that edge. Really super important to seal that edge. Okay, and as you can see, it's also created a nice design on the back here. There we go. Now, you can see the pocket opens. Sealing it on this edge here is what keeps this from pulling apart. You're always going to stay in line with your railroad tracks as long as you've got these edges sealed. That's super, super important. See that? Those edges are nice and sealed. And what I do like to do is come back with a thin piece of tape over top and just seal those edges a little bit more, just to make sure that everything is nice and secure. So I've just cut myself 1-inch strips and come across there just to make sure those stay nice and secure. There we go. And I'm going to do one on the top here too. And again, this is just to make sure that those stay where they're supposed to stay. One there. Now, next what we want to do is create the strap that this will hang on. And that's going to go at the top here. Now I'm going to cut this extra bit off because I'm not going to need this. You can save this for another project. I'm going to flip this over. This is my top. And any little extras, when you folded it over, those don't have to be there. You can just get rid of those. Just snip those. You could come back also and embellish your back too if you wanted to. You could put your initials on with a sticker. You could do whatever you wanted. Okay, and one more. There we go. Okay, now to make our strap. So I have these 3 straps that I had made ahead of time. All I'm going to do is take my strap, lay the edge down, and arch it up and over like the golden arches, up and over, and then I'm just going to secure these in place with tape. So you might find that it's easiest just to use a small piece of tape as opposed to a large piece of tape, just to get it into place first. So there's one edge, one side, and there's the other side. There we go. So that's secured. And then what I want to do is come back with another piece of tape. Again, this is that 1-inch strip. And I just want to secure that down. And I'm going to come across. Now make sure that you're not closing your pocket with this piece of tape that you're bringing around to the front. There we go. There we go. And that opens up nicely. And you can hear it. Can you hear that clink, 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 click, 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 click? That's how it's connecting back into itself. All right, so now what we need to do is add the tongue closure. So I'm going to take a strap. I'm just going to place it right here. And add another little piece of tape. Oh, silly me. You know what I should have done? Should have just added this first, then added that extra reinforcement strip. That's what happens sometimes. You forget your steps. But there we go. I'm just going to secure this nice. There we go. All right, now the tongue closure part is going to go midway. Just imagine that you're folding this up, right? Here's your stuff. And you fold this up. So you want this to stay closed this way. You want the handle to be here so you can hold it, and you want it to be closed this way. So I'm actually going to put my 2 little tongue closures right here. This is my 3rd strip, and all I'm going to do is cut this into 1, 2 little 4-inch pieces. Line it up. Have your tongue hanging down, and just lay these on top like little mini railroad tracks, like that. And then take a little bit of green tape and place it on the side to lock those into place. And take another little piece of tape on the side, lock them into place. Now I want to just make sure they're nice and secure. And so I've got some extra tape here. I'm just going to put this over. And I want to do this so that this doesn't pull out, because straps like this are going to actually be taking some abuse, and you want to just make sure that it's nice and sturdy and secure. Okay, so this tongue slides in and out very easily. And then to make it stay, what you do is just bring this strap up and through the top. And then that locks it in place. Now I'm just going to round the edge here, like that. Here's the thing about this. I've left this long because that way I can put lots and lots of stuff so that this can grow and even get it that fat, and I'll still be able to lock it up and keep it nice and tight and closed. Or if I don't have much in it, I can just make it tight, like that. And there you have it, a toiletry travel kit that can also be used for your locker and keep all of your school supplies. For more great ideas for travel and for school, come and check us out at Sophie-World.com.